Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Muscle Building Mastery podcast. The keen-eared amongst you, the people who were paying attention last time, if you listened to episode 1 on YouTube or on Spotify or Anchor, or it might be on iTunes, I don't know. If you listen closely, what you would have heard was me introducing it as a different name, and that's the story I want to tell you about today. I want to tell you about how I screwed up monumentally with the creation of this podcast and how you can learn from my mistakes. So I've been thinking about starting this podcast maybe for about a month now, maybe for like 3 or 4 weeks, right? And there's been 2 names I've been trying to decide between. I've been trying to decide between calling this podcast Muscle Building Secrets or calling it Muscle Building Mastery. And I have been like almost religiously checking like every day, making sure nobody had taken either of those 2 names. Like, not that there's any like copywriting against it, but I didn't want to be like the second to have that name, right? I wanted to be the first. If somebody searched my podcast, I would find my podcast. And I also don't want to, like, if somebody's beat me to the punch, I want them to have that name. I don't want to go and like, cause I wouldn't like it if somebody did to me, you know? So I was toying between Muscle Building Secrets, Muscle Building Mastery, Muscle Building Secrets, Muscle Building Mastery, and I was like going indecisive back and forth, and I was getting nothing done. I wasn't making any videos like I am now. I wasn't making any podcasts. I wasn't doing anything. So eventually, I got sick of my own BS, and I was like, right, just pick one and do it. And so last night, when I recorded episode 1 of this podcast, I didn't check anything, and I was like, right, okay, I'm just going to call it Secret. So I just went on, and as you guys will have heard, if you've listened to the first episode, I said, welcome to Muscle Building Secrets, and I did this whole spiel and did the whole podcast, which you can go back and listen to in episode 1. And as soon as I finished, I went on and I started designing artwork, and then I uploaded the thing called Muscle Building Secrets. I logged on to Spotify to see if it was up there. I searched my name and somebody else's name came up, and it said Muscle Building Secrets podcast with somebody else. I don't remember the guy's name. And that literally that day, he had gone on and uploaded 3 separate podcasts under the name Muscle Building Secrets. And I was like, oh my God, right? So that was it. The decision was made for me. Changed the whole thing. Muscle Building Mastery Podcast is now what we are calling this thing. But there's a lesson in this, right? Because although it wasn't the end of the world, like, I've not re-recorded it. I've left the episode up. You guys can go listen to it and listen to me making a fool out of myself if you want to. But although there was no harm done in the end, there is a lesson in this, right? And the lesson is, if you wait for circumstances to be right, circumstances will never be right, and the only thing that will happen is you will be punished for waiting in some way. So the way I was punished for waiting was, obviously, I lost out on the name that I decided to get, and I had to use the other name, which, as it turns out, I kind of like better anyway, right? I like the artwork better, but that's another story. So the lesson is to act now, and this ties into your muscle building goals, right? Because I know this is muscle building mastery. I want to tie it all back to the muscle building stuff. The lesson is, if you are considering embarking on a muscle building goal, if you are considering embarking on a muscle building journey in some way, and you have not started it yet, why not? Because the only thing that's going to happen by you not starting this thing that you're thinking about is it's the only surefire way of ensuring that you don't get results. Okay, so the only surefire way of ensuring you don't get results is by not doing the work that you've set for yourself. So if you've been thinking about this, I want to build muscle, I want to build strength, I want to do this, I want to do that, but circumstances aren't quite right now. Maybe I'll wait until I get fitter, maybe I'll wait until I get a bit stronger, maybe I'll wait until I'm not so awkward in the gym, or awkward, with my own physique, or whatever it is. And it reminds me of, because I spent 7 years in a coaching business, coaching guys just like you and just like me, to build more muscle and strength, right? And I was giving them personal training sessions, giving them the coaching, all the rest of it. And one of the biggest, like, I'll call it it's an excuse. I'll call it what it is. It's an excuse. One of the biggest excuses I used to hear from guys that were like, they used to like talk the talk, and they were like, yeah, Andy, I really want to sign up. I really want to get started on this thing. I was like, cool, let's do it then. And they were like, maybe I'm gonna wait until I get a bit fitter. I'm gonna wait until I get a bit stronger, and then I'll sign up with you, right? And it's like, what do you think I'm here for? I'm here to help you get stronger. I'm here to help you get fitter. I'm here to help you get bigger and be more confident and all that sort of stuff. But it was almost backwards. It was like, I'm gonna wait until I achieve this goal so you can then help me achieve that goal, right? It's backwards. So the lesson is act now. Whatever you're thinking about, whatever you want to achieve, cut the BS, just like I needed to cut the BS. I'm not saying I'm not guilty of this as well. I absolutely am. But just like I need to cut the BS with getting this podcast created, and that's what I'm doing every single day now without fail, you need to cut the BS and actually put the work in, put the effort in, and start. Just start. Just go and just run at that goal. And it doesn't matter if you don't know how yet, you'll figure out how on the way, right? I figured out how on the way. For building muscle, building a physique, you will figure out how on the way, because they kind of call it like ready, fire, aim, right? Okay, so you start running at something before you know 100% how to do it, because you know that along the way you'll figure it out. And it's the people that get paralyzed by this fear of, I don't know how to do it, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it, and they end up never actually doing it because they haven't got every single step figured out along the way, right? And if you got on a boat and you wanted to sail halfway across the world, or if you got in a car and you wanted to drive halfway across the country, because you couldn't see the destination, would that stop you from setting off? No, of course it wouldn't, because you know that the destination is going to reveal, the map or the route is going to reveal itself to you as you go along, right? So if you get in a car and you follow road signs, or if you get in a car and you follow a sat nav, like a navigation system, the sat nav isn't going to blur out every single step that you need to follow to get to the destination. The sat nav is going to tell you the next step you need to take, and that's what I'm doing this podcast right now. The next step you need to take to achieve your muscle building goals is to start. So put this, when I've finished in maybe 30 seconds, put this, put your mobile phone down, put your laptop down, put whatever you're watching or listening to this down, and go and start. Whether that means getting an early night and getting your sleep right, whether that means prepping your food for tomorrow, whether that means getting into the gym or getting into your home workout area and getting a workout done, whatever it means, just go and start, because I promise you, that is like 90% of the work. You will figure out the rest on the way. So yeah, it's a short one today, but I just wanted to have a little bit of a rant and a little bit of a blurt out and tell you that don't make the same mistake I did by dithering and dilly-dally and losing out on the thing that I want in the first place. Act now and go and get your goals, go and achieve what you want, and build a ton of muscle and strength. Hope you enjoyed that, guys, and I'll see you next time on the Muscle Building Mastery podcast. Take care, guys.